We are going to kick this off. Wonderful to have you all online with us this morning. It's a really important training to be on. We're going to share some skills with you, which I believe are vital to this near life business. But before we get into that, I just want to say hi to every one of you. I hope you have had a productive week. I really trust that your activity is high. In this time of change, if we're learning anything, there's a new way of living life right now. There's certainly a new way of doing business with each other, the near life business. But if we're learning anything, the fundamentals of this business still apply. We still need to be connecting with people. We still need to be finding out what do people really want and need. We still need to be reaching out to these people with a heart of love and compassion and inviting them to take a look at a solution to what they want. And I'm just going to stop share there for a second. You're reaching out to these people and offering them a solution to this near life, to have a look at this near life solution that we have for them. And then we still need to continue to follow up. And yes, it might not be face to face, person to person right now, but it all needs to be done online. And so for your business to prosper, you need to ensure that these things are still happening day to day. And online with us, we have distributors from all around Africa, in fact, and we have some wonderful panelists, which I'm going to introduce to you now. We have the wonderful Mr. Brandon Masondo online with us. Good morning to you, Brandon. We have Melissa Butler from Port Elizabeth and Shelley Konya Hansen from Port Elizabeth and Aune all the way from Namibia. And those are going to be our 4 panelists, and you're going to hear a little bit from them all later on in this session. But the title and the topic of the session today is being able to share your story. And we are in the business of telling stories. People have told stories, I think, since the beginning of times. And these stories move people into action. These stories bring communities together. And our stories are really the wheels on our business. And at first, people aren't really interested in how the compensation really works. What are the final details of the compensation plan? They're not that interested in that. People aren't even that interested in all the ingredients to all your products. In the beginning, what people are really interested in is, what did it do for you? What can it do for me? People want to know benefits. And the best way to communicate benefits is to have an effective story. And it's initially the benefits that you've experienced and your excitement that is going to open the door to a new customer and a new distributor. So being able to tell your story, your product story and your business story. Okay, so we have 2 stories. We have a product story and we have a business story. Being able to tell your story effectively, that includes all the key components of a good story and cuts out all the fluff. It's a really big asset that you will develop in building a business. And so what is the fluff? Very often people talk about their stories and they include a lot of details that add no value to the story. Okay, so the fluff is, I was watering my garden and I spoke to my neighbor over the fence, and she told me somebody she met in the shops, and her auntie's uncle's cousin knew somebody who had a product for me. That is fluff. That complication brings no value to the story. Okay, so today we're going to be, and the other thing is, your story needs to be based on honesty and based in the truth. Remember, our number 1 key value in near life is absolute integrity in everything we say and do. Okay, we want our near life family to bring every aspect of that absolute integrity into everything we say and do, into every area of their lives and their business, because we are building this for the future. Okay, and honesty will last a lifetime. So I'm going to share my story, and once we go through these key components with you, I'm going to get our panelists to share their stories with you. So let's talk about the outline of your story. Okay, there are 4 key components that make up a good story. And the first component is what we call your background. Okay, you need to be able to identify with people. And so in your background, you communicate your name, where you live, your occupation, These are obviously, if you're talking to a friend who already knows these things, we don't get weird on them and we don't re-communicate these things to them. But if you're standing up at a near life meeting, or if you're telling your story to somebody who you don't know, you're going to identify with them. You know, my name is this, my name is Drew McDermid, I live in Durban, and I worked in the investment banking world, or I'm a teacher, or I'm a nurse. You want them to think, hey, they are just like me. Okay, you want to really build a connection with these people. So number one, your background. Number two, what didn't you like? What didn't you like about your health, your job, your lifestyle, or your finances? How did you feel? Okay, I think this is one of the most important aspects of a good story. What you didn't like about your health, your job, your lifestyle, your finances, or anything else. And it's at this point in your story that you need to become vulnerable. Okay, you need to become vulnerable. And human beings are emotive. There's no doubt about it. And we just have to look at the superstars on the TV programs like Britain's Got Talent or America's Got Talent. All these stories have a component of people, a component of somebody's life that they didn't like. They become vulnerable, okay? And so I've got a product story. I lost probably 6 or 8 years ago now, I forget, I lost 8 kilograms on the Near Life Weight Management Program. And my story, I get vulnerable, and I know exactly where that story started. I moved back to Durban from London, and I'll never forget the first time I went to the beach with my friends and my family, and I took my shirt off while I was on the beach, and I just looked down, and all of a sudden I saw this white pasty body, and everything seemed to jiggle when I walked, and it made me feel self-conscious. And I put my shirt straight back on, and I remember saying to myself, I will never take my shirt off at the beach again until I sort this out. And that is where my weight loss journey started, okay? And if you see what I did there, I became vulnerable because I really didn't like the way that made me feel. And so think about your story, a product story or business story, what you didn't like. I hated the fact that when I got home from work, I had no energy. I went straight to bed, or I just fell asleep in front of the TV. I spent no quality time with my wife or my children. I hated the fact that every December holidays, all my kids' friends would be talking about the wonderful holidays they took, but we just stood at home because I didn't have the money to take them on a holiday. What aspect of your life really bothered you? Okay, so that's the second aspect. The third aspect is the solution. What happened? How has Near Life been your solution to your health, your finances, and your lifestyle? Okay, what happened? And so for me, I started on the Near Life Weight Management Program, and I followed it. I was so determined to get rid of all these jiggly bits, get rid of my belly. I followed this weight management program, and every morning I had my shake for breakfast. I followed the weight management guide. I got active. Every day I did exercise. And over 3 months, I lost 8 kilograms. Okay, so what was your solution? Effectively communicate your solution from a product aspect or a business aspect. And the fourth component of a good story is the future. What are you excited about? What future do you see yourself with Near Life? What future do you see for yourself with Near Life? Okay, so you want to communicate why you're excited and what you see for the future. And this is another very important component of your story, because we live in a world of extreme negativity. And the default setting for majority of people seems to be looking at all the negative aspects of the country, of their life, of what is going on. And when we as Near Life distributors become the shining light, when we become the change to this, when all of a sudden we no longer look at the negativity that's going on, but we talk about a positive future. We talk about being excited about the future. That is the change. Positivity is attractive. And when you talk about the future in a positive way, all of a sudden you become a beacon of hope for people around you. Okay, so these are the 4 components of a good story. Number 1, your background. Number 2, what you didn't like about your health, your job, your lifestyle, or your finances. How did it make you feel? and get vulnerable. Really expose your emotions at this point and make yourself vulnerable. Number 3, what was the solution? What happened? How has near life been a solution to your health or your finances or your lifestyle? And the 4th component is the future. What are you excited about? What future do you see for yourself with near life? Okay. Now, though, that's the backbone structure of your story. And then there are add-ons, things that you can start adding to the story that will supercharge your story. Okay, so I'm going to run through some of the components. The first thing is, what was your first bonus amount? Yeah, and I know for me, my first bonus check, I remember I received it in the post. It was £7.50. It was not a lot of money, but I looked at this check and I thought, okay, well, I've done a little bit of work and Near Life has sent me a little bit of money. If I continue to add to this and I do a little bit more work, I could add another 0 to this check this month. And in a few months' time, I could maybe add another 2 zeros to this check. Number 2, what was your biggest bonus amount? If you've been in this business for a little while, you could share with what your biggest bonus check would be. And I know for many people on the call, you had fantastic months in the month of March. Some of you more than doubled or tripled your near life bonus. You got to see the true earning capabilities or possibilities of near life. Share that in your story. Where have you traveled to? If you're on the world team, if you're on the president's team and you're on this call, I know you have been to some exotic locations around the world, locations that you probably never would have got the opportunity to travel to unless you were part of this near life family. Share that in your story. Number 4, what have you been able to do or buy? Some examples. Have you been able to pay off your bond? I heard a magnificent story a couple of years ago of somebody I bumped into in the distributor center. And they said to me, Drew, you know what Near Life has done for me? And this is a distributor that hasn't achieved crazy success in Near Life by any means, but they've consistently achieved a director level status. And they said to me, over the last 4 years or 5 years, I can't remember exactly what it was, we have been able to completely become bond free through our Near Life business. Were you able to build a new home? Maybe you bought a new car. Maybe you were able to educate your kids better through this business. Maybe because of this business, you're able to run a marathon or lose 10 kilograms or have energy to go and tackle another project. What have you been able to do or buy? Number 5, how has your business improved your family or life or quality of life? How has your business improved your family or life or your quality of life? Maybe through Near Life, you've gotten closer to your spouse. Maybe through Near Life, you've been able to invest more time with your children. Maybe through your Near Life business, you've been able to take your family on better holidays. Maybe because of your Near Life business, your life is just a little bit less stressed. And number 6, how has your business impacted your outlook about your future? Okay, so these are just some of the components that will supercharge your Near Life story. And for everybody who is on the call this morning, I will be emailing you sometime today. I'll be emailing you these 2 pages, your backbone structure of your story and how you can supercharge your story. Okay, so with this in mind, I'm just going to ask our wonderful panelists to unmute yourself, please, and to put your video on so we can see you. And I'm going to ask you guys to share your stories. And Melissa, you have popped up in the middle of my screen, so you have kind of chosen yourself to go first. Melissa is another very special part of this team. Many of you know her, but I'm not even going to introduce her because she's going to share with you her 2-minute story. Go for it.
Thanks, Drew. Well, good morning, everyone. I am Melissa Butler. I live in Port Elizabeth. When I was shown this business years ago, I was working as a personal assistant to the senior partner for a firm of chartered accountants. I had a great job. It was a well-paid job. I was happy, great boss. Everything was going fine. But slowly I started realizing that if I carried on doing what I was doing, I wasn't going to live the life that I'd always just presumed that I was going to live. I wasn't going to have the ability to create the life of my dreams. And it was at around about this time, I remember a friend arrived she was visiting from the UK, and she could only see me on a certain day that week. And I remember our lunch break was from 1 o'clock to 1:45, and I literally had 45 minutes to see her. And I just remember that feeling inside me of just thinking, I will never allow someone else to dictate to me again how much time I can spend and just restrict me like that. When I want to do something, I don't want to be able to answer to someone. And I just remember thinking, I can't carry on like this. And so it was at that time that this business crossed my path. And I got started very excited, not having a clue how I would do it. But at that moment, I remember committing to myself and to my dreams, and that I would do what it took. And my first check that I earned, I remember, was 109 Rand. I was so excited with it because I thought, I can do it. If I can earn that, I can do it. And, you know, from that very small beginning as that, this business has enabled me to, I've got 3 children now. I've been able to be at home with them every single step of the way. And I remember each month that each one of my 3 children were born, I think I had my best near-life month. I earned the most up till that stage in each one of those months, which was phenomenal. When other people were having to take time off work and maternity leave, I was there. And so this has given me the ability to be a stay-at-home mom with the added benefit of a business which I'm excited about, which has grown over the years. We've moved provinces. My business has remained stable and has grown. And for us as a family, it's just given us the ability to dream about the future, to be excited about the future. It's given my husband and I the opportunity to travel to overseas destinations, stay in hotels and places that we would have never had the ability to do. So we also, living in South Africa, it's not the most positive environment. And we as a family are able to live, our children have been brought up in a positive environment. I just see their motivation, their excitement, our excitement for the future is something that no one can take away from us. And it's all thanks to Nearlife. Done.
Wonderful.
That's me.
Wonderful. How's that for a story? So that is a 2-minute short, concise story. And it's a skill to be able to develop a story that you can develop in 2 minutes that contains all these components. Thank you, Melissa. We really, really appreciate that. And just while I think of it, I have opened the questions and answers panel on this call. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop a question in the Q&A panel. And if we get time, we'll try and get to answering your questions at the end of this call. We're going to have a little Q&A session. Thank you, Melissa. Okay, so Shirley, are you with us?
Hi.
There you are. Okay, Melissa, I'm just going to unpin you. There you are. Okay. Hey, Shirley, how are you?
Good, and you? I'm fantastic.
You're fantastic. Good to have you on the call. Take it away. Let's hear your story.
Okay. Hi, guys. I'm Shirley from PE. I'm now a full-life near-life distributor. I mean, a full-time near-life distributor. And before that, I was involved in the food industry for most of my career. I got involved with Nearlife from the product side and not the business side. So what I didn't like at the time was my health was not good. So I've really battled for about 20 years with chronic fatigue and a handful of other conditions, which have all been considered pretty normal in today's way of life. But then having a heart attack at 39 years old, you know, you realize that it's not normal. And I had no energy whatsoever. I had no energy for my little boy. I had no time or energy for my family, never mind exercise. It was really starting to affect my family life, and it was debilitating for me too. Just to make it through the day was quite a slog and a battle. So I didn't have quality time with my family, and I was always sick, always sick. And then almost 2 years ago now, I joined in July. Well, I didn't join. I started on the products in July 2018. And when I was diagnosed with pneumonia. And a friend of mine said to me, Shelley, sort yourself out. You know, you're always sick, and really do something about it. And phone Melissa, actually, and get her product. It is fantastic. And I was very skeptical to do that, but I did phone Melissa, and I asked her about Neolife. And because I've tried so many supplements through the years, I've always been conscious of what I eat, and I'm being quite intentional about what I put in my body and trying to be healthy, and nothing ever seemed to work. So supplements for me were not beneficial to people. I was very skeptical about it. But she did mention 3 things which I loved about the Neolife, and that was that they were 100% organic. They were whole food, so your body actually recognizes it, and they're GMO free, which was a massive tick for me. So I thought, let me give it a bash. Well, there was no looking back for me. I recovered from full-on pneumonia within 3 weeks. In a month, I was riding my bike again, which I just could never do. Any exercise I did would have me man down for 2 weeks being sick. And I now am, I'm into my exercise completely, which is really exciting for me. It's really exciting for me to have energy again, and not battle through the day, and have quality time with my family. And I'm able to do the things with them that I could never do before, which is amazing. It's really has changed my life. My husband actually said I'm better than he's ever known me. So it has been such a profound change in our life. I am super passionate about the product because I know it works. And so for me to share with people, it is easier for me because I do believe in it so much. And I only started on 3 products. And when I was really, really at a low point in my life, and it really made a huge difference. Not only in my health, when I started having such good results with the product, I joined the business, and the business has been amazing to me. It has given me financial independence in a short time compared to all the work I used to do before. You just can't compare it. So it has been an amazing journey for me being involved with Neolife and taking the product.
Wonderful. Thank you very much, Shelley. That's a good story, man. That's a great story. Thank you so much, Shelley. And Awune, where are you? Okay, I'm going to unmute you, and I'm going to make your video big. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Good morning to you, Awune, all the way from Namibia.
Yes, good morning, everybody. My name is Awune Kalume from the United States of Namibia. By profession, I'm an accountant that I'm doing full-time. While part-time, my husband and I are doing this fantastic business opportunity, and we are equally enthusiastic and enjoying it together. The reason why I started this business, of course, I wanted to make extra income. We grew up very poor that one can just look at me and you get the true definition of poverty. But the good thing is that when I was growing up, my single mom used to tell me that if you want to live a good life, you just study hard and go to university and get a job. And I'm grateful she did. And I went to university, I got a job. But when I started working and I was taking care of my siblings, I realized my salary was not enough. It was not a good life that I thought I would be having, because I was still struggling. I was struggling with few things like affording food, clothes, don't mention of cars, because, you know, I did not even have a dream of owning one. So when I started this business, it's really changed everything. I started earning, of course, more, but making a difference in my income. I was affording few things, like I was affording groceries. And Neolife turned out to be, as time passes, Neolife turned out to be really the best opportunity that has bring so many benefits in our life. You know, Currently, my husband and I, we are still working. We are doing full-time business. I mean, we are doing full-time employment, 8 to 5. We are having a good job. So what we are making on Your Life on part-time business is a lot of money, and it's just icing on top of the cake. What the money that we are making in Your Life really is just like to polish up and to iron out few things. This will be enable us now to send our kids to private school. It's enable us to have a beautiful house. It's enable us to drive good cars, and of course we are living a good life. The life of struggling is no longer there. But the most exciting thing about Your Life, apart from making money, is the lifestyles. The product has been fantastic. We have been benefiting health-wise from using this product. We have been not visiting hospitals, and we have not been being sick for for forever, as far as I remember. So thanks to Your Life products, and of course for the grace of God. And we have been, as a family, we have been traveling. We have been all over to overseas destination, my husband and I, for the last 10 years. Each and every single year we have been going out, for example, to Dubai, we have been to Abu Dhabi, we have been to Mauritius. Talk of those beautiful destinations where a lot of couples are imagining or dreaming of going. This fantastic business opportunity has enabled us to be there. And what is more exciting now, or why I'm more exciting about the future, you know, currently the two most important thing, it's the health and the security, or your financial security. And the health, we have it in Your Life. Through using this wonderful product, I mean, you're almost guaranteed to have the good health, because we have so fantastic products. And about money, if you really want to make money, this has never been a better time to make money than now in Your Life. Like, the last month has been the most exciting month in our business. And even now, when we are in the lockdown, we are just home, but we are so optimistic and very determined that come end of April, we are going to make a biggest bonus of our year. And we are just sitting at home. And that's why I said, really, in Your Life, we are so excited, and the future looks so excited. And lastly is helping more other people who are struggling with life. And you are sure that if you are working together with them, step by step, they'll be also able to have a life that you have even more. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Une, thank you so much. That was absolutely fantastic. Thank you. Really appreciate that. And so your story is critical. It's so important. And as your business grows and develops, your story will grow and develop with you. Our number one daily success habit is use the product. Why do we want our distributors to use the product? We want them to develop their story. And you might develop a story with True NM, and then you might develop a story with the Near Life Shake, and then your kids might develop a story on the kids' nutrition, then you might develop a story with the home care. And so you are going to build up an arsenal of stories that you can share and tell. And depending on who you're talking to, you will just pick and choose your story accordingly, okay? But it's going to be based on the truth. But something else that we do in this business is we borrow stories. Like, I might borrow Une's story, which is fantastic, or Shelley's or Melissa's story. I won't use it as my own story, but I will share their story with somebody who will get value from their story. And that is why I love it when people share their stories in our meetings, on our online calls, because a story that is shared today, I know will benefit somebody on this call this morning. And then people on this call will take this story out into their communities, to their families, to their friends. And these stories will have a positive ripple effect upon many forever, for years and years and years. So know your story and craft your story around those points that we covered today. And that is the challenge I set for you this weekend, is spend an hour crafting your story and practicing your story. So you have a good 2-minute product and 2-minute business story. Okay, so we got a couple of question and answers that have come in. Brandon is on the line. Brandon, if you want to unmute yourself and show your video, I want to just welcome you to this call. Brandon, good morning to you.
Good morning, everybody. It's exciting stories to hear from the distributors or the panelists today. Very exciting and motivating and encouraging. And I like each and every one of them. Well done, guys.
Fantastic. Okay, Brandon, good having you on the call with us. And I just want to thank Brandon for everything he does. He really is such an asset to this Nearlife family. Okay, so first question from Tansy Cruz. What is the best way to get a new person started? Okay, I think that's a good question. And I'm going to refer back to the training we did last Friday. If a new person gets started, what I recommend you do is you get them to watch that training video we did on Friday that talks about the activities that will build the business. We'll talk about getting their goals and their dreams while they're doing the business. It will talk about creating their names list and how to build that name list. It will talk about how to discover the needs and the goals of those people on the names list. It talks about how to invite those people. So it kind of gives them a core understanding of the activities that they've got to do, and get them to watch that 40-minute training before you meet with them to open their kit. Okay, and I know you're probably not meeting face-to-face, but when their kit arrives through the courier company, you want to get on the phone with them, you want to get onto a Zoom meeting, and you want to go through their kit with them. But when you go through their kit, you want them to have their list of names already. Okay, you want to be able to help them formulate invitations for those new people. And so you can help them invite people onto the next webinar or to see the product or the opportunity. Okay, that's how I would get somebody started. Because when a new distributor starts, often we think we've done most of the work and we've signed somebody up and our job is done. Your job is just getting started. Okay, the real job is you have to help that new person find their first customer. Okay, so they got to make their first profit, and they've got to help that first person find their new distributor. Until those two things happen, you do not have yourself a new committed distributor. Okay, so that is how I would recommend you get somebody started. Brandon, please feel free to chip in here, or any one of the panelists for that matter. Okay, one for Shelly. Shelly, what 3 products did you start with? There you are. Hello, Shelly. You muted. There you go.
I started with the Pro Vitality Pack, which I still take every day today. I took extra carotenoids. I just bought the one with 30s in it, and I took extra 2 of those, so it just lasted me the 15 days. And I took acidophilus, which I also still take today, and it was life-changing. And yeah, I still stick to those products today.
Fantastic, thank you. Okay, okay, here's a good one from Carol. I joined this business 2 years ago, but quit 2 months later, saying that it doesn't work. I again joined the opportunity in January, and I'm looking forward to a great business. Should I include that bit of quitting in my story? That's a good question. And can I be honest with you? I would say yes, because that is part of your vulnerability. In my story, I talk about how I was rejected by my very best friend and how that made me feel and how I nearly quit. I include that in my story because it's the truth, and it makes people feel vulnerable and they can relate to that. But I think the second aspect is how you bounce back from that, which makes that story even more powerful. And I quit. And so you quit the business. And then after however months of quitting, I realized that unless I make the necessary changes, unless I learn the skills and develop the mindset to achieve success, I wouldn't succeed anyway. And so I'm so excited now because I've recommitted myself to my future. And together with this newfound passion and a near-life opportunity, I know exactly where I'm going, and the future is very bright for me. Okay, so you can put that into your own words. Yes, yes.
There was a comment on the chat thing from Charles as well, saying he's been trying to persuade people for 2 years now to join the business, but he's ready to quit. And I just thought that would, that little story now would suit him as well. And also, I just wanted to add there, maybe not persuading, but getting your story right, and rather telling your story than trying to persuade people to join the business.
Correct. Very good point. And yeah, I think it's important to know that in this business, you are going to fail many, many times. Okay. Failing is not the problem. You're going to make many, many mistakes. In fact, I say to my team that if you're not making mistakes, I'm worried about you. Because if you're not making mistakes, it means you are not doing anything. Okay. Mistakes are part of it. But the only time you fail completely is when you quit and you don't get back up. And so I think there's probably many people that can relate to that story that you just shared, Shelley, that came in on the chat. And that's okay.
Drew,
I think,
Drew,
yes.
I just want to say something. I think that is a very good question that was asked earlier on, where somebody quit the business and came back into the business. I'll just share a little story. We have today a president's team member who joined many years ago. And unfortunately, there was no honesty with his original sponsor. And then they decided to quit because they thought that the business doesn't work. And then somebody else came back and showed them the business, but they had love for the business. They understood that the products are unbelievable and they have so much benefit. They got on the business again. They got on the business not knowing that their business will grow. And today they are president's team members. They have president's team members in their businesses, and their business is not only based in their home country, it's all over Africa, because you know what? They decided to get back onto the business and get going again. So even if you did quit before, add that to your story, because it tells you that sometimes you might come across challenges, you might come across people who might not be honest with you. So you share that story as well. Don't forget your original story.
Fantastic. And there's so many examples of that. You take, we were on a success team call with Rory and Nola McDermid last night, and they spent the first probably 7 years in this business not achieving any level of success really. And it took them 7 years to develop the skills and the mindset that would allow them to succeed in this business. And so I think the third daily success habit is personal development and growth. Personal development and growth. And the faster you grow, the faster you learn these skills and develop the mindset, the quicker you're going to achieve success in this business. Now remember, we are the messenger, we are not the message. And we talk to everybody. Some people are ready to hear what we have to offer. But you know what? Some people are very comfortable with their lives, and they enjoy complaining about what they don't have, and they don't want that taken away from them, unfortunately. And so, we can't help everybody. And so we're looking for people that are looking for change in their lives. Our job is just to share the message. Great question. I hope that those answers are of value to you. Another question, where do I find the video of last Friday? You can find that in two places. You can find that by logging into your back office. Okay, so you go to shopnearlife.com, log in, and click on resources. And under resources, you will see webinar recordings. And we have recordings of all of our training sessions. You can find it there, or you can simply go to the website, youtube.com. Okay, and in youtube.com, search for Neolife South Africa. And that will take you to the Neolife South Africa YouTube channel, and all of these videos are listed on that website. Okay. Okay, how can I get people to be motivated and have believability that we have? Okay, that's a good question. And again, I think it's getting people started right, getting people committed to their goals, getting people to do the basics. And I believe the best way to build believability is to actually get a new distributor their first bonus check. Hey, that builds believability. The best way to build believability is to help your new distributor start to build a customer base. And so they have people to service, people to love, people to sell product to. That builds believability. and make sure that they attend events and they get trained. Anything you want to add, Brandon?
No, I think you've summed it very clearly. Perfect.
Okay. And then the question from Cesar, I think this is a good question too. Can we change the name of the stories from 2-minute stories to under 5-minute stories? It says, we'll keep it at 2-minute stories because we know that 2-minute stories will get expanded just past 2 minutes. If we make it 5 minutes, they will turn into a 7-minute story. Guys, that is great. Go for it, Brandon.
I just want to add to that. If you extend your story to about 5 minutes, you end up talking about yourself and being excited about yourself, not focusing on the person that you're sharing your story to. And you spoke about fluff at the beginning, that you might end up talking about fluff, stuff that does not need to be part of your story. So make sure that when it's short, impactful, it's powerful. But if it becomes a little bit longer, it loses the impact. And you also want the people to ask you questions, to ask you more questions about on your story.
Okay, good. Okay, a good question has come in. I joined this business last month. I haven't come up with the story yet. How do I get to persuade people when I don't have a story? Okay, and I haven't in my first check. Another great story is you don't have to have it. Those add-ons are just add-ons. You don't have to have achieved any success to have a story. What I would ask you is, what was the reason for joining this business? Okay, what was the reason that made you uncomfortable enough or made you feel vulnerable enough that made you decide to say, yes, I want to become a near life distributor because I want to achieve that? I'm guessing you joined because you have a goal or you have a dream that you want to achieve. Use that, your background, then share the reason for you joining, what made you feel uncomfortable. And you can say, and I joined last month and I haven't achieved those dreams or goals, but I'm so excited about the future because now I have hope for a better tomorrow. Now I have a way that I can take my life from where it is right now to where I want it to be. And I'm excited for what the future holds. And I want you to join me in this journey. Okay, so tell them why you joined and then tell them why you're excited about the future. Okay, I started a month ago and I'm currently using the household product and the aloe product, the aloe gel. I've sent to all my contacts with no response. What should I be doing differently, or am I too hasty? Another good question. I never recommend you spam your entire database or your phone list with your story or an invitation to an event. That very seldomly yields any results. We are in a relationship business. We are in a people business, okay? You're going to get far better results by just talking to 10 people and phoning each one of them and saying, hey, John, I know your situation. I know this lockdown period has severely impacted your income. I think I've got something which could be of value to you. I want to send you some information. Would that be okay? Okay. Or, hey, Mary, I know you are tired all the time. The last conversation we had, you told me that you could barely get through your day. I think I have something which can give you more energy. It's completely natural. Can I send you some information? Okay, so rather than spamming your entire database, remember, have a name list. Find out what those people need and want. And based on their needs and their wants, invite them to take a look at your product or your opportunity. Okay, you're going to get far better results. Okay, so sorry, I'm just scrolling through some of these things. Thank you for these questions, guys. It really does help us answer targeted queries.
Drew, can I add something again?
Yes. Yes,
sorry,
please do.
Just a comment from Lisa, and I think it's also very pertinent and important, is it's important to manage people's expectations. So especially from the business side of things, when they start, to tell them the real thing, like what you put in is what you get out, and not to inflate it and say, it's easy to make money and whatnot. I found that quite a good little comment.
Yeah, absolutely. And just on the back of that, thank you for bringing that up, Shirley. I think that's very, very important when we get somebody started. And we spoke about this on last week's training. By setting the expectations, we say to them, if you succeed in this business, it's going to be because of you. On the same token, if you fail in this business, it's going to be because of you, not your sponsor, not Near Life. It's going to be because of you. And that is very liberating because we give everybody the same product, everybody the same compensation plan. The only variable in this equation is the person sitting in your seat. And that is why we want you to work harder on yourself and your own personal development than anything else in this business. Okay, so that is fantastic. And people are loving your stories. So guys, I think that's enough for today. I just want to thank all of you. I want to thank our panelists for giving us your time. But more than anything, I just want to thank our Near Life distributors that are on this call. I want you to know that you are valued. I want you to know that every one of you, Near Life is sum total of the people in this business. You make up Near Life, and we are very grateful for you and for what you do. And Kendra mentioned it on Wednesday night's webinar, is we have never been better positioned in the entire history of our 62-year history than we are right now to go out and make a bigger impact than ever before. And yes, the last 62 years, we've made a positive difference in this world, absolutely. But I don't believe we have even scratched the surface, because there are people out there that are desperate for a way to improve their health, to protect their families. There are people out there that are desperate for a way to find a way to make more money, to improve their lives in some way, but they've never heard the name Near Life before. And it's the people like you and I, the people on this call, that are going to get into our world and are going to make a true change and turn this adverse situation into a situation of opportunity. And we're going to reach out, not to sell a product, not to sign somebody else up, but we're going to reach out with a heart of love and compassion, because we are truly here to make a positive difference in the lives of others. So guys, God bless you all. Have a wonderful Friday. Have a good weekend. And just before we go, up and coming on Monday, we're going to be sharing with you, how do you talk about core nutrition with a new person? Okay. And then on Wednesday night, that's Monday morning, Wednesday night, Liz Geertz will be talking about nutrition and protection for your kids through good whole food nutrition. And on Friday, we'll be talking about sharing your Near Life opportunity with others. Keep well, everybody. Thank you for being on this call. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Ciao.
Bye, thanks.